A source hunter? I thought you lot had burnt the last of those nutty sorcerers by now.
A little bit delayed on the audio there. Okay, just arrived in the city, try to figure out what to do. Seems like we have to go to the Legionnaires' headquarters first, no matter what, otherwise we can't progress things, so... Try to move there. That's the most unconvincing moo sound I've ever heard. Potatoes.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of them all on my hands.
Well, it looks like nothing really belongs to him. So I might as well take everything. A lot of food items. Antlers. Spirit may be turned to magical purposes. Whatever that means. Ah. Fishing rods. Seems to be that I'm finding a lot of very basic components or something. Doubt they're all that useful. But it could still be a source of money if you know what you're doing. Plague grenade. Lowers constitution and bodybuilding. Now just go out of the city.
Halt! These gates are to remain closed at all times. Captain's orders. Wait a second. Well, I'll be a little red imp's uncle, the source hunter. Sorry for the gruff treatment. I didn't recognize you right away. Please tell me, how can I aid the investigation?
So, civilians aren't allowed outside this gate.
You can see security's tighter than ever around here since that surprise attack the Orcs did on a fortnight ago. They did enough damage to shake up Ahu and Captain Aureus something fierce. We can only hope to hold back the undead and these left-field Orc attacks long enough for reinforcements to arrive.
Yeah, I don't want to leave the city now. If anything, we need to learn as much as possible by talking, crafting, everything. Seems like I can at least learn crafting recipes from books, so if I happen to come across a few interesting books, that would be preferable than to me just I desperately test things out.
Steady, boys, steady.
I can't even smell the sea air over this rock.
Okay, I think the dark diamonds are completed things. Walk to statues, mysterious murder, into the dark. West Beach.
Plenty of fish
So
in
that's
the
probably
sea,
where
but
the extra
I've got
orbs
the
are.
foulest of the lot on my racks. Never been homesick a day in my life until I sailed to Sicily.
I just take your fish.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
Okay, some kind of trapdoor.
Better to evacuate this place while there is still some left to save, I say. Go while the going's good.
Crime scene. I don't think we can get access to crime scene at the moment. What's this building here? I'll go talk to the captain first, then we'll worry about the rest. Cecile Center Barracks.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear!
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicile began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know.
So are you in the habit of stealing?
I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times. But what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal.
This is going to be interesting.
So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
The merchant has to eat too, you know.
Fresh haddock.
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish.
Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish. This man should learn to stand on his own 2 feet.
I suppose you've got a point. Another day, another rumbling belly.
Why couldn't I just give him some food?
Morals never fed a hungry man, you know.
So, not very good role-playing options. I mean, they ignore the obvious. That's always worries me.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked path.
What did you think of that fish thief?
Thank you for making that would-be thief see reason. I only hope your instruction lasts. The last thing the plagued people of Sicile need is a thief among them. That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked
I have a
path.
huge amount of food, so why couldn't I just give it? Yeah. Common sense doesn't appear to be a thing in the dialogue. I'll have to be aware of that. So basically, they want you to make very specific choices, even though common sense says there are better choices available to you.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens!
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
This building is the headquarters. Ah, Esmeralda, right. Not yet. Be able to cook something at the campfire.
Well, hello there!
Or not. Mobile kitchen. That looks like a campfire with also, I can't use that, belongs to someone else. Ah, combined with something. How does this work? Ah. We have a pot there. A pot, probably not the type of pot we're looking for. Cooking pot. I think I saved. I don't want to lose this. The cooking pot might be a way to make the fish and the clams simply useful. Mobile kitchen. Okay. What does that do? Where is it?
A good day to you.
How the hell do I get out of here? So what does a mobile kitchen look like? Is it there? Ah, so we can make a temporary cooking site. Probably can't take it away. How the hell does this work? I mean, how can I cook up fish?
Well, hello there!
Where are the fishies? Right. Nice descriptions. Don't actually want 4 of them placed there. Okay, I think there's an easier way to split this. No, it just immediately goes there.
A good day to you.
Dinner. Okay. This doesn't seem like all that great of a way to do anything. Now there's a mobile kitchen here that's not sure what I can do with it. But I needed to give the Roderick something to eat. But is there anything I can do with this? Can I take the... Currently, yeah, this is the one thing I currently... Well, I wouldn't say hate, but I'm very wary about this game. Basically, you can't do even the simplest thing and get back from it. You can't basically break your combinations. Strength and heals. Heals seem to be actually fairly powerful. It affects 3 times. Okay, overall food is fairly effective way to do things.
Potent heat.
Where's your leader?
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her
Sorry,
off you
sir.
before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatic.
Where's the command?
Those folks would embarrass a bridge club. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Private?
Ugly will be the least of it. The beast looks rotten.
You can take the blades, but they don't appear as lootable items in the highlights. Can I There's some bread and a couple of plates. What exactly are these plates? Something useless. I think I had multiples of them. Where's the other one? Eat bread. Strength, speed, heals. Duration 6 turns. Long duration. Right. There was another plate. Another useless plate. Maybe they're useful for something. Orius.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear?
Okay. Tell me about yourself.
I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number.
Okay. Jake's murder.
Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you!
In regards to Jake's wife, Esmeralda.
Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition.
Yes.
If you must.
What's the main problem? So your main problem is the undead.
Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all.
How are you enjoying Sicil?
How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sicil stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Sicil.
What about the Legion?
We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably.
What, in your opinion, are the orcs doing on the beach?
I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion.
Arho tells me he suspects a sect might be at work around Seal.
Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.
Maybe so. Fish thief. Mysterious murder. Okay, at least we have the basics here covered. We can continue with the investigation if we so choose. String enthusiast. I want to test the pickpocketing, how it works. Not skilled enough. I would like to get a look at these books, but at the same time I don't know if I want to piece them up. I mean, I can test it on targets that are not nearly as important, so if something goes wrong, it's not that big of a deal. Evidence chest. Probably shouldn't go fiddling with those. Upstairs, downstairs. Arhu study.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter. And what might those be?
Talk to me about the undead.
Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. But even though I've spent many a night leaping from tree to rooftop, watching on as citizens stagger home from the inn or simply burn the midnight oil, I haven't spied a single soul worthy of true suspicion. The enemy is wily. They know us better than we know them, and they've found ways to avoid both detection and distrust. Yet I am somehow convinced that you may succeed where the Legion and I have failed. Call it instinct.
What about the orcs?
You have a flair for understatements, Hunter. I'm sure they are but a minor nuisance in the eyes of a born warrior. But to the Legion they are green-skinned death incarnate. Until they conclude what mischief they intend to see through, or less likely, they are conclusively defeated, we can but bar the gates and hole up like mice while the cats are on the prowl.
How did you design those magical ballistae of yours?
Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista, add a 100% legally obtained self-regenerating source of destructive magic to it, and Bobcat's your uncle.
Okay.
By all means.
Anything you can tell us about the strangers that seem to be in league with the orcs?
I can't say much more, but that they're madmen. All the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry.
Okay. What is that? Gigantic crystal of some sort? Mysterious packages. Trap disarm toolkit, 9-inch nails, cooking pot. Alright. I'm assuming the crystal is a source of magic that can does not really run out, so we might be able to use that on something of our own. Also a lot of cooking pots. A lot of books. Universal Controller Instruction Manual. It's not a item we can steal.
Lucky find!
What the fuck is a lucky find? Does the game highlight new items at all? Like something recently added to the inventory? Okay, scorch marks and dents hucking its cover indicate that this manual was written only after a lengthy bout of trial and error. Welcome to the Arhu Spark Master 5000 Universal Controller Instruction Manual. With the Universal Controller in hand, you can give your beloved weapon of mass destruction various commands. Here are some of our customers' favorites. Angry Happy Angry, vent steam. Angry Angry Sleepy, discharge electricity. Sleepy Sleepy Happy, weapons deactivated. Angry Angry Angry, Universal Controller deactivated. Happy Happy Happy, party time. Okay. But I might come back and try to steal some of these stuff these guys have, but only after I have more experience with certain things. He who smells it. Probably a crafting manual of some sort. It certainly looks like we're not gonna get all that much down this time. Adventurous Field Guide. Red. Some plates again. Plates are for some reason not marked. Why?
Quiet! No talking to these scoundrels, criminal scum!
Fair enough. A couple of books at least. A lot of plates. Bread.
Source hunter or no, not a single non-legionnaire is permitted into the treasure room. Pockets have a pesky habit of growing extra deep in such places.
Fair enough. More interested in about the jail anyway. Maybe if we could distract him, we might be able to at least get past this. Right, I don't know if... Okay, this is locked. This is locked, but this isn't. Locked.
Quiet! No.
Does your facing actually make a difference? Okay, what's the book? Adventurous Field Guide, volume something. Nail Fortified Branch. This is something we've read before. So you can identify them by the volume. One with fluids. Okay, anything we can, one we can talk to here.
I've been wrong. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face furious. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugli'll be the least of it.
Ice blue eyes, narrow beneath a heavy brow streaked with sweat and dust. Her hands tense into claws, held at the ready.
I mean you no harm, stranger. I only wonder who you are.
Her brow knits together, but something in her pose relaxes. She clears her throat.
Is she narrating herself?
Sorry, sir. I am Bear Daughter. I have not come here to find trouble with the Screech woman. She only startled me. And you are a source hunter. I have heard many tales of your order. Your history is long and honorable.
How did you end up in this cage?
This woman here, the one who now plots her revenge, she crept behind me while I was hunting, and I only defended myself. I would not hurt an innocent Screech woman on purpose. But soon their swords were upon me, and they forced me into this cage meant for dogs. Mother would rip the fur from her chest if she could see how they keep me.
Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
A curious situation you've got here. Is the woman in the cage under arrest?
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
And what will become of this admittedly stranger?
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Perhaps it would be worth taking the stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy. We can trust her to watch our back.
Sorry, sir.
She's an archer, apparently. That's why I want her. And I want to know, do we have some kind of group size limit? How the hell does this even work in this game?
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy if we can trust her to watch our backs.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Okay, split the party. Breaking the chain that connects them. Create groups in your party by dragging the portraits on together. Is there a formation of some sort?
Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears?
I meant that I would be responsible for you. I will keep you out of trouble.
In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy to have a friend in such a place.
A child of the bears, what does that mean exactly?
And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Thris. Do you know it? The wise godwolf Amira raised the child Thris among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Threes the Wolfson, and I the Bear Daughter.
Right.
Ask freely, my friend.
So you were raised by bears in the wild? So Goldilocks, I guess.
Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strength and speed determine your fate. Here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom.
How did you learn to speak?
Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I would never have learned more than the beasts could teach me.
She's probably not incredibly well mentally equipped. Not saying she's necessarily stupid.
A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I am both beast and human, and so I must do both.
Her attributes are probably exactly speed and physical attributes.
Sorry, sir.
You seem to know quite a lot of history for the daughter of a bear. How is this possible?
I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs, and those cubs taught the next. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of the story will be forgotten. But the lesson will not. It is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways.
Tell me more about Jarrett.
He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself. He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often, and in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, he'd tell me tales of the world of people. Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him.
So why have you come to Sicil?
I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him.
Any clue where he might be?
That mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived. I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him what I had seen, his reaction was strange. He had no answer. The next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment were gone. He was kidnapped and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death, coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough.
Yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical about your daughter's little story. Would be jumping to a lot of assumption, and if she can't properly read, then how it could have been about anything.
I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken.
That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
New quest. The Wild Woman and the Renegade. Right, okay, how exactly does this work?
Sorry, sir.
They're just not gonna do anything. Right, so if we want to move as a group, we actually do have to combine our chains.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Sir, no, sir.
There is little in our world more variable than the minds of men. It is the source of great beauty and much despair, and all of it is uniquely human.
Sir, no, sir.
Attention! About this! To the barracks, march! Recruits, that was sloppier than
Take each in stride and prepare for either. You'll find your fellows surprise you for better and for worse in equal parts.
It is difficult for me to claim humanity as you do. I am still learning to see myself in the faces of those I meet. And those I meet do not always see themselves in me. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me.
Okay. What exactly are you? Higher level than either of us.
Sorry, sir.
Good constitution and dexterity, everything else sort of average.
Sir, no, sir.
Based on what I see, the arrow you seem to be like she doesn't have 3 arrows, she has 3 modes of attack that she can use. At least that's how it seems, because otherwise, how the fuck are you gonna keep yourself in arrows? It's like 50 gold for a stunning arrow, and it only does 6 to 9 points of air damage. So if you have to do 50 golds for every arrow, that's just ludicrous.
Sorry, sir.
We have water arrows. She had poison and fire. We had knock back arrows or something. No. Yeah, they cost quite a bit.
Sorry, sir.
Maybe it doesn't really require no arrows normally at all. This is just extra effects you can add, so that's why, right. Now they do quite a bit more damage. The normal bow damage get added to the... So 33 to 56 air damage and 100% chance to stunning a target. So yeah, that sounds like something that might be worth 48 gold.
Sorry, sir.
Here's boots.
Sorry, sir.
That's all she has. I might have a couple of armor pieces somewhere. Cloth cap. Looks terrible, but who the cares? I wonder if I should give a melee weapon to her. Might make something like give branch some nails actually, or a blackjack maybe. Just something. Well, dagger actually wouldn't be that bad of a weapon.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir. Attention! About face! To the barracks!
Female party.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Crime scene in Esmeralda. I'm not sure if we should go for those first. We have a couple of side missions we could also do. And there's it seems like there's a large part of the city that's totally unexplored. So I think we can spend quite a bit of time here.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! March!
I think I'll end this soon, but I want to sort of run through the city, for lack of a better word. Repair equipment. Right mouse button on a broken equipment. Can we use these? Yeah, we can probably... everything that we can't move, we can still combine with.
Murder within the walls, undead outside of the walls, and here we legionnaires sit twiddling our thumbs.
It's because you don't know what's going on. So hastily acting could cause a lot of trouble.
Thank the seven, we've secured the perimeter.
Have some pity. Can you spare a coin?
We can. Don't want to though. We'll have to, yeah, we have to talk to a ton of people, go through a ton of stuff. That's gonna take time. Can't be helped. It seems like the game wanted to start a little bit with some minor action just to get things going, but it's now slowing down to a crawl.
Can you spare a coin?
Where did I get the experience from? I have no idea.
Have some pity.
He's dead.
Salutations! Murder within the walls, undead outside. I wouldn't venture too far out of town if I were you. Many legionnaires did so before you. Very few have returned.
What's that contraption you've got?
Or whose invention? The stasis blaster. It's quite a sight, no? The ray can singe a zombie or skeleton to ash in a matter of seconds. These days, we Legionnaires hold a lottery to see who gets to man the things. You can bet it's no small amount easier to blast those flesh-eating monstrosities from a distance than to get within striking range. Don't ask me how the blaster works, though. I just make sure the thing's hitting its targets.
So, if we go out of this, we'll engage the zombie Underdark. I think we should go here first. It doesn't look like it's all that large of a place, and it should have a hidden cave for the orcs. First of all, we probably should explore the town. I mean, probably talk to people outside the quest line. Probably nothing really happens until you do that, so this might be a very good time to try to explore everything extra. Still everything not nailed down. Maybe do some shopping, maybe do some crafting.
Sorry, sir.
The crafting I have to learn, there's no getting around that. It's obviously a must-have thing if you want to succeed in the game.
Source Hunter's here too. Well, if the Legion...
What is this?
Better to evacuate this place while there's still...
How can the Legion serve you today, Source Hunter?
Exactly does this go? Again, outside, probably where the undead monsters are. No, that was the undead place. Still, he isn't warning us about anything. Ruined areas, probably undead infested. I'd say the probability is pretty high with that.
I wouldn't venture too far out of town if I were you. Many Legionnaires did so before. Whose invention? Since these days really don't ask me.
Other stasis blaster rant. Doesn't look like we can do much here. Rob. Poison. No, there are some kind of poison creatures. Half-eaten zombie.
Good luck out there, Hunter. Evil lurks beyond Siseal's ramparts.
It's the waypoints we're discovering that give us the experience. Still, I didn't notice a waypoint here, but I must have discovered
Where's
something.
my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, there it is.
Oh, whatever. Ooh. Suspicious mound. We do have a shovel. We can go to grave digging if we want to. That's a suspicious mound. Doesn't look like it's a grave or anything. Okay, at least now we know what a suspicious mound looks like. You have a single shovel. My experience would tell me that you use up the shovel if you dig up something. Probably shouldn't be eager to go grave robbing in general, at least not when someone's looking. Eggland there.
Oh, it goes to and fro the city's youth. They hustle and bustle. While
But
I
there
sit
doesn't
here
appear to be that
statically
many
and watch it
important
all go by.
locations. A decent amount of people though. Couple of sites, couple of buildings, but not that much really. Right, there's Esmeralda, murder site. Half a dozen buildings, a few more maybe, but yeah, not that much going. I think I'm more or less gonna leave things here and just start to systematically go through things, see what we can find, see what we can talk to, get an idea how things are more or less gonna go out. See if we can get extra party members.
Oh, it goes to and fro
That sort of
the
reminds me,
city's
does
youth.
she have any extra
They hustle
abilities?
and bustle. While I
She's
sit
pretty much
here
a bow
statically
and
and watch it all
Tenebrium
go
user,
by.
whatever that means. Tenebrium allows you to equip more powerful Tenebrium weapons, okay, I have no idea what that is. I don't recall the other things. No, they don't have the skill. Okay.
Oh, it goes to and fro
Expert
the
mark.
city's
So
youth.
she's very
They hustle
much
and
archer.
bustle. While I sit
And a
here
lore master
statically
apparently.
and watch it all
Allows
go
you to
by.
examine enemies and identify items. The more invested it is, the more in-depth your intel. To identify, use an identifying glass and item you want to identify. So I need to get either find or buy an identifying glass. Again, my worry is that it's a useful thing.
Dear me. Oh, how the coast reminds me of my
That
long
doesn't
fled
sound all
youth.
that useful.
I sailed the seas. I walked the worlds.
But it might work. There's something I see missing is that we start to have the sort of support and damage dealing portion now more or less covered. We would need someone who can actually stand at the front lines and
Oh,
take damage.
it goes to and fro the city's youth. They hustle and bustle while I sit here stagnantly and watch it all go by.
Right, I think we're pretty much at the edges. This would be the... Actually, what is that? Orcs are here, so it's just another city gate. Yeah, probably nothing really useful. Apple juice. I think high priority should be on books. Simply because if I start testing these things out, it's gonna take forever even just to test them out and try them out. And I might lose a lot of worthwhile stuff doing that. That's something we can test immediately. Do you lose the items you test? So let's... doesn't really matter. Rat tail and muggle water. Can I... Yeah, if nothing happens, don't lose anything. It just fails. Pumpkin and a knife, maybe. You probably lose them though if you do a successful thing. Pumpkin helmet. Fire resistance, chance to set feared status for 1 turn. Didn't lose either one really. Okay, but that's how it works. But we might be able to, like this, we have 9-inch nails. I think we have a recipe like making some kind of branch plus nails to get something going. But the thing is, we have only 2 nails, and a nail branch seems like sort of our irrelevant item at this point. but we might be able to get more things out of the same item. So learning as many recipes as possible beforehand seems to make a lot of sense to me. Okay, who wants to have that ridiculous helmet? Roderick. I sort of feel like this is absolutely ridiculous, but at the same time, I like it because at least you can try these things. No one's forcing you to wear that horrible piece of crap, but trying out ideas seem to be rewarded. So that's a good sign. Mortician's Morgue. Yeah, I'll leave things here. We'll probably will not proceed with the main quest markers yet. Just go around town, see what we can buy, see what we can steal, see what we can find recipes, then maybe go with the main quest line. Because there's no way it's gonna be just end here, isn't it? It's going to send us against the undead or the orcs. It doesn't really matter. Key point is, it's gonna send us somewhere. Also, I have no idea actually how limited these areas are now. There's nothing here really, so this could be just a more small area at the beach. This could be a massive, massive area on that direction. Also secrets. Floating statues. Into dark. Source Hunter's Journey. Mysterious Murder. Wild Woman. We want to filter completed. Yeah, sure.